Goldie here. Been meeting more and more people that I didn't know about that live here. Been covering Donbass, the Donbass. I've probably seen them here and there on the internets, but maybe not. Some of them seem I'm totally unfamiliar with them, but they're doing great work. I just got done watching a guy that's been in Donbass for years. He went there to investigate that when they first started the Maidan. He's a real legit journalist. Name's George Eliason. I'm probably not pronouncing it right. I think it's Eliason when I see it, but that's not how he pronounces it. It's Eliason or something like that. Eliason? Yeah, I think that's it, Eliason. Anyway, I'll put some links down here. He's traced this Nazi thing in Ukraine back to the US and Canada, as a lot of people have. Of course, the CIA developed these Ukrainian nationalists at the end of World War II to use against the Soviets. But they built networks in the US and Canada. Motorcycle. They built networks in the US and Canada to fund and organize these people and give them intel. And this apparatus is big, and it makes money. They infiltrated, with the CIA's help, all kinds of businesses. It's a self-funding operation. It's funded really well, and it's got its little fingers all over the politics in the US and Canada. I uncovered a bit of it when Trump was running against Hillary, because there were certain segments that were helping Hillary. I don't even remember the details. It was illegal. It was all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And it was a Canadian group that were Nazis, from Ukraine. They were connected with the Ukrainian Nazis, who I knew about. That's why it got my attention. But they're involved with politics, and they're not stupid. They've got their people in all the right places. They've got their guys in police departments and prosecutors' offices. And they got huge funding. And on top of their funding that they got for themselves, they get your tax money through NGOs and charities. All this money you ass clowns are sending to Ukraine to help people, it's going to the Nazi organizations. Because you know what? They're going to lose Ukraine. Russia is going to finish up cleaning things up and denazifying, unless these idiots start World War III over it. But the Nazis are not happy. They don't like people thwarting their plans. And their plan is congruous and a part of Klaus Schwab's plan. Fancy that. The New World Order. It's all part of the whole. Antifa, the anti-fascist people, you couldn't find any people more fascist. And they're connected with Ukrainian Nazis. They say you're a Nazi. That's what Antifa does. When they're beating up some old Tea Party guy with a bicycle lock, beating on his head with it, they're saying he's a Nazi. They're the Nazis. They call themselves Antifa. They're not anti-fascist. They're not even communist. They're some sort of weird identity politics, pseudo-communism. Anyway, you're going to have some interesting times when the dollar collapses. You got a bunch of people ready to go seize power. And they're not very pleasant people. Not at all. They're the ones that are using human shields in Ukraine now. They're losing big time. They don't like it. Anyway, just saying. Sorry for the traffic noise, but I'm going to pick up my daughter. And really isn't any place I can sit where there's not traffic noise. Yeah, I gotta write some articles and do some things about the fake news and why people buy it. I'm going to do that tonight. But I'm going to mull this over and do a little research. And I'm pretty sure there's some American researchers, there already have been some, that have really zeroed in on this angle about all these Nazi organizations. Of course, they don't call themselves Nazis. You have Stormfront and all these, you know, idiots that try to pretend they're World War II Nazis. These are a different breed. Those guys are just LARPers. Most of them are probably undercover FBI anyway. You get these organizations like white supremacist militias. Yeah, I guarantee you most of them are probably undercover cops. And they establish their own criminal networks while they're doing that undercover work because, as many of you know, I was an outlaw biker for years, and I know how it works. When I started getting out of it, he couldn't throw a rock in a clubhouse without hitting a cop. They got undercover cops everywhere, infiltrating everything. There's very few groups, actually factions of a few groups that I would trust not to be cops, but the rest of them, they're full of them. There's whole clubs that are nothing but cops. And they act like worse outlaws than the outlaws. Well, they got a license to engage in crime because they're playing biker, you know, and they make a lot of money at it. And then it just kind of settles in and they become outlaws that aren't subject to the law. They used to go around tweaking us in Houston. Las Carnales, that's one. That's a bike cop group. And they're open about being cops. But man, they started wearing 3-piece patches and 1%er rags and strutting around, getting out of cars with their rags on and stuff. You know, bandits and other people would give you a beating for that, but they wouldn't do them because, you know, in 5 minutes there'd be 100 cops swarming into the place to arrest everybody. So they can do whatever they want. That shootout they had in Waco, that was all cops. That was factions of cops shooting at each other. That's why it was all hush-hush and covered up. They couldn't pin it on the bandits. There's a bunch of fake outlaw cop guys, or real outlaw cops, supreme outlaw cops. They got in a gunfight because they're trigger happy, and they also protect their own territory. And they're idiots. So if there's that, how much infiltration do you think there is of people that have this Nazi ideology? That the state is the answer. You worship and sacrifice yourself to the state, the nation. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are into that. They don't wear swastikas and lightning bolts and stuff. Not yet. Time will come, they'll probably pull it out. Because that's their thing, man. That's their symbol. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Unless Q's right. I don't know about that. There's going to be a fight anyway, even if he is. It's going to be some battles where they try to take over territories and areas and hurt people. That's what they want to do. They want to make you pay. Anyway, just a thought. I'm going to look into that when I get time. Well, that's it for this one. Just a little short one about this Nazi phenomenon we all know about. You need to study it and look into it and look around your local area. Because they're there. They're all over Canada and the U.S. You're crawling with them. They're going to do something. Better be ready. Anyway, Uncle Bildy signing out.